It's that time, season time, new season, 2021, season 4 is here, and there is a lot to go over. So we're just going to jump into it. We're going to have some new cars, some new tracks, new AI stuff, damage modeling stuff, and a whole lot more. So there's season highlights here, but we're going to go into all this. And like I said, it's a lot. So we're just going to start here with iRacing UI. So AI racing in hosted. A new feature has been added to hosted, the ability to utilize AI and AI opponents. So hosted sessions now include the ability to add an AI opponent roster to the hosted session, and this allows the session host to bring in AI opponents to fill in unclaimed entry spots for the hosted session, ensuring a full racing grid, and allows for multiplayer AI racing. It can also be used in leagues. So this is something I didn't know they were working on, but something that could be pretty cool. I don't know if I would do this in a league, like an actual league, but for just online fun hosted races, it'd be neat. You can see if a hosted session is utilizing an AI opponent roster by an AI icon on the session, or by checking the summary screen for the session. So during the session and race results, the AI drivers are indicated with an AI tag or a robot icon. Alright, so when it's running, the AI drivers are processed on the session's host machine. So I guess if you have a potato, maybe don't try this. So any AI drivers that the AI drivers will share any connectivity issues experienced by the session host. So this also means if the session host disconnects, the AI drivers will disappear until the session host rejoins. Alright, so only hosted sessions that utilize AI-enabled content may enable AI opponent rosters. Team events may not be created. Heat racing events may not be created. The Avoid Me option is available in the form of Avoid Players. This has also been updated in offline AI racing. See if anything else here. An AI opponent roster of any size and makeup can be used. Okay, so AI opponents enter the session and fill grid slots as soon as the session host joins. To ensure all desired humans are able to join a session, the host should register for their session, but wait until the very end of the registration time to join. Otherwise, AI drivers may fill slots that could be instead taken by humans. I feel like what they should do is if the host joins and it fills up with AI, for every person, like the AI shouldn't take up actual slots. Like they should fill the slots in the session, but they shouldn't be counted as official, I guess, if there's a way that they can do that. Because I know if you have a session and somebody joins and they leave, that doesn't open their spot, which is pretty annoying. But I feel like with AI, go ahead and fill it up, but leave those spots open. So if somebody joins, it just takes away one of the AI cars. Because imagine hosting a session and not being able to join until like the end of qualifying. Alright. AI drivers may not have protests filed against them. Alright, heat racing. Resolved an issue in the heat racing wizard where clearing numeric inputs was sometimes causing the page to crash in some specific settings. Oh, if some specific settings were already set during session configuration. Paint shop. Following new sponsors have been added. Sim Racing Studio and Vertigear. Following sponsors have been removed. Craftsman and iRacing TV. Achievements. Fixed an issue where achievements that use a progress tracker could display completion amounts with an incorrect decimal position, displaying results far greater than the actual value. It's always them decimals. Alright, member site. Account. You are now able to download and or print a receipt for any iRacing purchase, including hosted sessions. So to do this, go to the account section, open My Order History at the top, click on the order number that you are interested in to see the invoice, and then click Open Printer Friendly Version link at the top right. And you can print or save as a PDF. So in the cart, you are now able to toggle the Use iRacing credit options while in the shopping cart. While you are still able to update this option in the Preferences section of the My Account page, you can now toggle the Use iRacing.com credits and dollars towards my subscription and card track purchases option while in the cart during the checkout process. Alright, so if there's anything else in there that's Remember, toggling this preference will be applied towards all future purchases of subscription time and content purchases until it's changed again. Support. We have continued to grow our support team and are now offering limited support services during weekends. We know this is a popular time to be racing, and we want to help keep you on the track. We will do our very best to answer all critical issues. Simulation. Team racing. Fix a bug that could cause a driver to be flagged as unofficial in a team racing event that uses the Declare Team Drivers feature. Heat racing. Fix a bug in heat racing with closed lone qualifying sessions where a specified number of drivers were set to be advanced directly to the feature. The bug prevented anyone from participating in the qualifying session, skipping all heat and or consolation sessions, and only allowing the specified drivers to run in the feature. Dirt racing. The formula for determining the grip levels of a dirt track based on water content has been updated. Dry slick is now a bit more grippy. Dirt oval. The dynamic track data for dirt ovals has been improved to prevent an uncharacteristic washboard effect that could occur on straights. Alright, lots for AI. AI racing is now available and hosted. We saw that. AI racing is now available for the following vehicles. You can read the list. So the two new cars we got, Super Late Model and the V8 Supercars, and they also enabled AI racing for a bunch of tracks. Again, you can read them there. They're really working on this AI stuff. And AI drivers have improved their skills with the following vehicles. So some AI updates for a bunch of vehicles. AI drivers have improved skills at the following tracks. And AI drivers have completed their 2021 Season 4 curriculum, including the following classes. So engine revving and other ways to look cool. Fitting in pace order, targeting, and tracking for Type C non-military drones. Just a bunch of funny stuff. So yeah, just a lot of tweaking and improving the AI. Alright, damage modeling. The no damage model has been updated for improved interaction with collisions. This damage mode now allows the simulation to execute full vehicle damage, allowing the physics to perform accurately for more realistic collisions. Then, after the crash is settled, in a very short duration, all vehicle damage is immediately repaired. This alleviates impossible physics behaviors that could occur under the previous system, which utilizes gosh, what is wrong with me? I haven't had my coffee yet. Which utilized some indestructible and non-pliable objects. These changes should make vehicle collisions more realistic and predictable, even when racing with damage disabled. This has long been an issue. If you have damage off, those cars turn into airplanes. You hit something, you're going flying. So it looks like they're trying to fix that. Which, I mean, you can still go flying either way, but with the damage off, it was really bad. This system operates on using either the original damage model or the new damage model, and user system message is now displayed when the simulator is using any damage model other than normal damage. Fixed a long-standing bug where player wheels would sometimes pass through opponent cars and or their wheels, and it should significantly improve the consistency of car-to-car interactions for all cars. New damage model. Fix an issue where wheel damage forces were sometimes getting applied in the incorrect direction and angle, and fix an issue where removable car parts from other vehicles were showing up in lone practice sessions. I've seen that. It's kind of weird. Alright, tires. Road course tires have been updated for NASCAR vehicles, including a bunch of them. NASCAR vehicles will utilize road course tires at Mount Washington Auto Road. Dirt tires will continue to be used at all other dirt oval and dirt road configurations. And again, a bunch of NASCAR stuff. So ARCA, the 87s, Cup cars, trucks, Xfinity, and then some of the legacy stuff. Old Xfinity, old trucks, Impala, legacy Cup cars. Alright, and this fixes some loading errors that could be received because the selected car track combination is not really intended to be run, but we no longer wish to deny our users this type of fun. The one thing I have to say that I like about iRacing, and this should be the thing, so I'm glad it is you can take like any car to any track. Like you should be able to do that and goof off and just see what you can do. Alright, pit stop. Fuel leaks are now always fully repaired during pit stops, no exceptions. They are also fully repaired before refueling begins. This update affects the following vehicles. And oh my god, you got the list here. That's a lot of them. Severe engine leak damage is now repaired instead of forcing the car to be retired for all open-wheel cars. This update affects the following vehicles. Pretty much like all the open-wheel cars. Looks like. I might be missing some. There are missing some, but either way, pretty much all the open-wheel cars. And body panel and steering damage repair characteristics have been improved for the following vehicles, and that's just a bunch of the GT cars and a prototype. Two prototypes. Two prototypes. Again, you can read the list. That's why there's a video. You can read along. I know most of y'all ain't even listening to this. Alright, spotter. Spotter messages have been updated to include the following warnings. Coolant temperature is high. Oil temperature is high. Tire tread is low. And spotter messages for the Italian Renzo A. Olivieri, and man, why you gotta have me reading these names? And Marco have been updated. Right. Pace car. For tracks with separate pit entry and pit exit lines, the pace car now exits the pits immediately instead of driving a full loop around pit lane first. This should fix the unique track line seen at Lanier National Speedway. Rendering. A new graphics option has been added. Static steering wheel. Previously, cars with displays built into the steering wheel were not removed from the world when the hide steering wheel option was enabled. Now, all steering wheels, regardless of type, will be removed when this option is enabled. If a user wants a steering wheel with a display to remain while removing other steering wheels, enable the static steering wheel option. That's a nice update. Following vehicles affected by this option. So, autumn cars. The environmental reflections inside of car cockpits have been improved when HDR rendering is enabled. In the graphics options menu, selecting low quality shaders no longer disables the ability to select low quality trees. Speed trees, runtime performance, and memory usage have both undergone further optimization. These changes affect the Mount Washington Auto Road. Fix an issue where loose car parts on cars that were not the camera focus were rendering over the top of everything when close to the focus car's cockpit. This also fixes an issue where loose car parts could disappear in mirrors when a car was close. Fix an issue where dynamic cube maps are not rendering at a proper rate when set to a value of 1. Oh, Cody would like that, I guess. Lighting. Fix an old issue where small trackside objects were not picking up the correct light intensities from stadium lights. Visual effects. The overall duration in which smoke lingers has been increased. Nice. The look of smoke effects at night have been improved. Nice. Audio. Curb and rumble strip noises have been improved. Sawtooth curb sounds for open wheel exterior camera views have been improved. For LFE devices, the base shaker wheel slip rumble has been reduced when driving on dirt. Environment. Environment effects have been updated for a variety of tracks. Right, camera. Improved camera controls to fully support analog joysticks instead of treating them as buttons. The show camera tool mode now closes when the simulator exits. The Freeview camera has been updated so that Control Z is now a hotkey for bringing up the camera modifications window for the current camera as long as it's outside of a car. Cameras now stay attached to their base platform instead of falling off the car when you take over control. A new variable, mouse aim remain on platform equals 1 has been added to the cam tools section in your app any file. Setting this value to 0 will restore the previous behavior where the camera would fall off the car when you take control. And a new variable, mouse aim update on exit 0 has been added to the cam tool. Setting this value to 1 will restore previous behavior where the camera's position and orientation would be updated when closing the mouse aim mode. And the Freeview camera now supports holding down the center mouse button to allow for moving the camera along the XY plane. The mouse scroll wheel adjusts the camera along with vertical Z axis. Replays. The Save Replay dialog box now displays the file size of replays already saved to the disk. A new setting, chat review state equals 0, has been added to the replay section in the app file. This setting may be manually adjusted to a value of 1 to request that the replay session screen defaults to playing voice chat from the point of time being reviewed in the replay. The state can be manually toggled by clicking on the headset icon in the replay area, and the headset blinks red when voice chat is being played from the replay, and gray and still connected to a server and listening to live voice chat. Garage. The garage no longer prompts to save setup changes if you're attempting to exit without having modified the setup in any way. Options. Helper notes have been added to the LFE sliders. For telemetry, a new session string new session string telemetry variables that output information on the gears in your transmission have been added. So the number of gears, pretty much, and telemetry variables have been added. So steering wheel max force displays the maximum value of the maximum force slider. And for steering wheel use linear displays the value of the use linear checkbox found in the simulator option screen. Controllers, the latest Fanatec API has been integrated. Peripherals, help text has been added to the various peripheral APIs available in the settings dialog. Sporting code updated. I'm not reading it again. And there's a link. You can just type that out, I guess. Read the video and type it out if you want to see them. Alright, on to cars. For the ARCA car, for the new damage model, the tire sidewalls and tire tread properties for this vehicle have been differentiated. This should improve the tire impacts and reduce the tendency for wall climbing. Nice. Then a bunch of cars setups have updated. Every season, every car is going to have updated setups. So if that's the only note for a car, I'm going to skip it. For the Audi R8, LMS tires have been updated for the GT3 class. You can expect different limit feel and degradation behavior. Grip will be slightly lower on cold tires, peak after a few laps, and then drop noticeably before holding steady until the tires are heavily worn. Temperature sensitivity and wear are now enabled on the clutch for this vehicle. Minimum cold tire pressures have been increased to 21.5 psi to bring operating hot pressures closer to real life. ABS control has been adjusted slightly. Proportional gain has been increased. More aggressive pressure cuts now allow the system to converge on target slips more quickly. Vehicle minimum weight has been reduced by 5 kilograms. Aerodynamic downforce has been increased. Imperial toe adjustment values in the garage are now displayed as 0 inches. Fix an issue where the rear wing angle was incorrect. And setups updated. For the BMW M3 GT3, pretty much the exact same as the Audi. There's a couple differences though. New engine and backfire sounds. Fix an issue where vehicle damage was incorrectly increasing downforce. Fix an issue with the tooltip information for the rear wing adjustment angle. And okay, UI renders of this vehicle updated. BMW M4 GT4 aerodynamic model data mapping, pitch limits updated. Tire construction parameters updated. For the M8 GTE, vehicle minimum weight has been reduced by 5 kilograms, and the same issue where damage was increasing downforce. So a lot of these are having the same sort of changes, like the Z4 Imperial toe adjustment values in the garage now displayed as 0 inches. The Corvette C8R minimum vehicle weight has been increased by 5 kilograms. The Monte Carlo SS tire parameters updated. Alright, for the IR18 IndyCar, road tire construction parameters updated. Pit road speed dashboard now takes priority over low fuel, low oil pressure, and other red warning gauges. The driver helmet used by drivers in this vehicle has been updated. Setups updated. The Dallara P217, the prototype. The sun parameters have been adjusted for the repair of the engine wheels and body panels. Dirt midget collision parameters around the wheels and perimeter of the vehicle have been updated to prevent car-to-car overlaps and clipping. Same for the dirt modified. For the dirt sprint cars, tire construction parameter and tread pattern are updated. Same with the collision parameters as the dirt midget. Banished a mysterious floating shadow that can be seen above some drivers in this vehicle during replays. For the sprint car non-wing, center of gravity has been raised slightly. Rear suspension geometry is updated. Opponent car parameters have been updated so they better match the real vehicle. And then the same for their tire construction collision parameters are the same as the other cars. Dirt street stock fixed an issue with spinning mud plugs. For the modified, same collision parameters. Ferrari 488 GTE. The aero drag has been reduced slightly. Vehicle dashboard lighting updated. The driver's feet are now animated. And fix an issue where damage was increasing downforce. Alright, new car. Ferrari 488 GT3 Evo 2020. The Ferrari 488 GT3 was already one of the Prancing Horse's most successful sports cars of all time, but continued evolution is a hallmark of the brand's continued success across all forms of racing. Such is the mindset that birthed the 488 GT3 Evo, a reworked version of the car that features a longer wheelbase, new engine management system, additional driver comforts including a new seat developed with a sway belt, aerodynamic adjustments, and more. The result is a proven GT3 platform that has taken the next steps towards further glory in the world's biggest sprint and endurance championships. Alright, the Ford Fiesta. Center of gravity has been adjusted to reduce the likelihood of rollovers in tight corners. Fix an ambient occlusion mapping issue on the steering wheel. The Ford GTE, again, damage was increasing downforce. And oh my gosh, for the Ford GT, tires been updated for the GT3 version. You can expect different limit and fuel and degradation behavior, so same as some of the other cars. Same with the temperature sensitivity and wear. For the clutch, minimum cold tire pressures. So gear ratios have adjusted. Range differential preload's been increased. So a bunch of small changes here for the GT3. A lot of these share the same as the others, but it has a couple of its own little things here. Like steering has been adjusted to improve feel and provide a greater sense of handling control. All right, go for it, GT. For the Mustang FR500S, tire parameters updated, brake bias setup range increased, Formula V. Minimum allowable fuel capacity for this vehicle has been reduced to 0.1 liters. And a new iRacing setup has been added for the Mount Washington Auto Road downhill configuration soapbox. I hope this fixes. I've been doing this. I've been working on my time. My times are slow now. I'm still trying. Hopefully with this new setup, it'll be nice. There's a section. It's maybe about halfway through. There's like a little bridge with this sort of a bump, and you have to slow down so much to get it. And if you don't, you're just going to go flying off the road. And that took me a long time to finally figure out where it was and how to slow down. And it really hurts your time. I'm hoping this maybe fixes that. I don't know. I don't know what this is. If y'all want to see me do some soapbox runs, maybe I'll do it on a stream sometime. It's pretty fun. I like how that's also so popular that they added their own soapbox version for the Formula V. That's hilarious. All right. Tire textures have been updated to reduce visual color bleeding when using white wall tires at far camera distances. Dashboard switches are animated. Paint shop model updated. Global Mazda MX-5 cockpit textures updated. iRacing setups updated. The Honda HPD onboard engine and gear shift sounds have been improved. The Kia Optima tire parameters updated. Brake bias range has been increased. Shift lamp RPMs updated. The Lamborghini Huracan GT3 tires are updated, so this is the same as the other ones. A bunch of the other ones. The cold pressure, minimum cold pressures have been increased. See if there's anything that's a difference in the other cars. This looks the same. Lotus 49. All right, tire parameters updated. Variety of vehicle parameters have been updated, including suspension geometry, aerodynamic properties, gearbox parameters, and differentials. Mirrors adjusted slightly. Shadows cast by the driver updated. More dynamic delivery of engine sounds based on throttle inputs and engine load enabled. Lotus 79 tire parameters completely updated. Cold tire pressure limits have been adjusted. Adjustable camber ranges has been expanded. Tire level of details have been adjusted so the highest quality LOD is always visible while in the cockpit. And more dynamic delivery of engine sounds based on throttle inputs and engine load has been enabled. Lucas Oil Off-Road Pro 2's animated driver and pedals have been updated. McLaren 570S GT4 tire construction parameters updated. Aero model data and mapping updated. So for the McLaren MP4 12C GT3, same big update, same as the other GT cars. Pretty much all the same. Traction control settings have been updated on this one. Everything else, though, is the same. All right. Same for the Mercedes AMG GT3. All those same big changes. Except front roll center height has been increased. Rear bump steer has been reduced. Aero balance has been shifted forward slightly. Brake pressure bias range has been shifted. Yeah, so this one had a few different updates, but it still had most of the same other ones. The modifieds, tire properties updated, front hub mass adjusted. 87 NASCAR Cup cars. Engine parameters have been updated based on newly found data. Final gear ratios have been made slightly shorter. Dirt tires have been updated. Cup cars. Fixed the strange frequency issue with some of the engine audio samples. The NASCAR trucks. Shocks have been updated. NASCAR Next Gen cars. Throttle must now be lifted for upshifting. A manually blip is now in place to assist with downshifting. Do they have to? I guess they will. I'm not sure the transmission actually that they use in the next gen cars. My limited time with them, you just keep it planted when you shift, but I do blip it on downshifts. I don't mind lifting for upshifting though. I gotta be honest. I know cars these days, it's hard. You don't really have a traditional manual, which is what I like, especially on iRacing, especially on the oval side too. I like a good H pattern shifter. I'm a little sad, especially for next year, that we'll be using sequentials, but I guess that is what it is. Pit stop animations for tires have been updated to match the new tire design of the vehicle. I wonder if this is going to speed up the pit times. I have a video comparing the pit times for the current Cup cars and the next gen, and they're the same. And I'm pretty sure that's only because at the time they were just using the same pit animations. And I don't think they have. I think this is going to change a lot next season when these cars get released in real life and we see how fast the pit stops are. I guarantee iRacing will adjust the pit stops, but I wonder if this one has already made it faster. Maybe we'll have to check that out. Fix an issue with tooltip information. Xfinity cars. Shocks have been updated. Rear springs are now set at 450 pounds per inch while running at super speedways. Fix a strange frequency issue with some of the engine audio samples. The Nissan GTP ZXC tire parameters updated. Pontiac Solstice tire parameters updated. Porsche 718 the Cayman tire parameters updated. Aero model data and mapping have been updated. Vehicle minimum weight has been increased by 2.5 kilograms. Alright, Porsche 911 GT3 Cup 992. New car. Even though you probably wouldn't know it because every Porsche looks exactly the same. I hear this car though is supposed to be a little easier to drive, so I'm kind of looking forward to trying it. Anyway, new for the 2021 Porsche Super Cup season, the latest generation of Porsche 911 GT3 Cup car builds upon an existing and successful framework to create the next era of top-notch racing in Porsche's premier global one-make racing series. Kicking up the horsepower to 510 and its 4-liter flat-six power plant, 25 more than its predecessor, the latest 911 GT3 Cup features improvements to chassis construction, aerodynamics, suspension, and safety features, and can be run on synthetic fuels for the first time. Do you have what it takes to master the machine and become the next great Porsche champion? I know I don't. Porsche 911 RSR fixed an issue where damage was increasing downforce. Vehicle minimum weight has been increased by 5 kilograms. Alright, Porsche 911R GT3, same updates as a bunch of those other ones, except that also torque has been reduced slightly. Minimum vehicle weight has been increased by 2.5 kilograms. Front end geometry has been updated to reduce pitching through brake zones. Porsche 919, the amount of MGU-H harvesting has been increased by 1.9 kilowatts. The Radical SR8 onboard engine sounds have been improved. Alright, Spec Racer Ford, a full artistic update has been completed on this car. I thought they did that already. The SSCA Spec Racer Ford inside and out has been brought into the modern age of computer artwork with a brand new high fidelity model, high definition textures, new paint patterns, and improved render settings. The Spec Racer Ford is part of the default iRacing content, so you all have it for free. New damage model is enabled for this vehicle. Rough matching restrictions have been removed in order to allow users to downshift sooner. So don't blow your motors. Alright, the Skip Barber. Chassis texture has been updated to 4K resolution. Tire, wheel, rim textures have been updated. A variety of driver animations have been updated for both body types. Street Stock, a full artistic update has been completed. So, same thing as the SCCA Spec Racer. And for the new damage model, a variety of rebalancing has been performed to optimize and upgrade this vehicle's damage states. Supercars, Ford, Mustang. Car repair times have been updated. Same for the Holden. And the Holden also has fix an issue with the driver's foot and pedal animation. Super late model, tire parameters updated. For the USF 2000, fix an issue where the left side pod could appear in the incorrect position at certain camera distances. The VW Beetle Light, allowable garage camber and inflation ranges have been adjusted. Alright, the Legacy Ferrari 488 GT3. With this season, this vehicle is joining our Legacy content. This vehicle's name has been pre-pended with the Legacy distinction. All customers who purchase this vehicle within the past 2 years will receive $12 and iRacing credits as a refund. This vehicle's purchase price has been reduced to $295. I don't know when I bought this car. Tires been updated. Alright, so all this is the same as the other GT cars, except the engine torque has been increased in mid RPM range. The differential has been adjusted. Coast side locking has been increased by a ramp angle change. Driver's feet are now animated. The cockpit has received some artistic updates. Tooltip text for rear ring angles have been updated. Alright. The Legacy Mazda MX-5 fixed an issue with a missing headlight in the interface model. Legacy Porsche 911 GT3 Cup 991. So with this season, this vehicle is joining the Legacy content. The vehicle name has been pre-pinned with the Legacy distinction. All customers who purchase this vehicle within the past 2 years will receive $12 in iRacing credits. And the vehicle's purchase price has been reduced to $295. Alright, on to tracks. For Atlanta, track surface parameters have been adjusted. Grass area at turn 3 has been removed. Fix an issue with the grandstand shadows at turn 4. For Imola, patch some terrain seams. For Interlagos, some dirt standing has been reduced. Monza, pit lane. For the Grand Prix version, pit lane checkpoints have been improved. Bristol, dual pit roads and single pit road. So both versions of Bristol track surface parameters are adjusted. For the Ma, fix an issue where some brake markers at the end of the Mulsanne did not correctly reflect light at night. For Spa, some dirt standing has been reduced. Darlington, track surface parameters adjusted. Daytona adjusted a visual popping that could occur on some track light poles at certain distances and rendering settings. Dover, track grip has been reduced slightly. Alright, Hickory Motor Speedway, new track. New asphalt oval Hickory Motor Speedway is available. Before NASCAR's biggest names first shone under the bright lights of Charlotte Motor Speedway, many of them found their first successes elsewhere in North Carolina. The city of Hickory plays home to the world's most famous short track, Hickory Motor Speedway, a 0.363-mile asphalt bullring that has welcomed racers and fans through its gates for more than 70 years. From its early days, since opening in 1951 as a half-mile dirt oval to the current day, Hickory's fastest drivers have had what it takes to win at iRacing, to win at racing's highest levels. Ralph Earnhardt had 5 track championships in those early days, while Junior Johnson and Ned Jarrett also scored titles at Hickory early in their Hall of Fame careers, while the track would eventually be reconfigured multiple times before taking its current shape. The quality of names on track remained the same, with legends like Jack Ingram and Harry Gant earning titles of their own later on. For much of its history, Hickory played host to what is now known as the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and it even hosted nearly 2 decades of NASCAR Cup Series racing before the 1972 schedule shift that consolidated the division. Nowadays, it's a premier circuit on the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts weekly series map and a crucial part of the multiple Super Late Model Series calendars. Alright, Hungaroring Circuit, new track. A new asphalt road course, Hungaroring Circuit, is now available. Conceived in the mid-1980s, placed just outside of Budapest, and built in a rapid 8 months, the Hungaroring became the host of the first ever Formula One event in Eastern Europe in 1986 when it welcomed the inaugural Hungarian Grand Prix. Originally Organizers had wanted a street circuit similar to Monaco, while a permanent circuit became the eventual choice. The track features a number of tight and challenging corners that make it polarizing among drivers. In its more than 30-year history, the track has crowned 2 Drivers' World Champions and 4 Constructors' World Champions at its events. It's also the site of numerous firsts, including 4 first-time F1 winners and the first drivers from both Hungary and Poland to compete in the series. The Hungaroring has also added various sports car, touring car, motorcycle, and open-wheel feeder series to its portfolio along the way, with a regular premier touring car event supplementing the schedule for more than a decade. Iowa track surface properties have been adjusted. Alright, Mount Washington. New set of iRacing awards is now available for earning exclusively from activities at the Mount Washington Auto Road. These awards are brand new and may not be applied retroactively based on your event history at the Mount Washington Auto Road. Physics properties of the dirt section have been updated. Trackware properties have been updated to reflect the point-to-point nature of this track. Asphalt sections of the track accumulate much less rubber over the course of an event. Dirt section of the track is worn away much less, even with maximum track usage. Our professional rock gnomes have been hard at work and they've updated all rocks along the side of the track surface. This means both that all visible rocks now have proper collision, and you will no longer find any invisible rocks on your journey up or down the mountain. Smooth a pair of severe bumps, one at mile marker 3, and another on the uphill side of the bridge. Good, so maybe that's that big bump I was talking about earlier for the soapbox challenge. Fixing issues with some signs disappearing. Fix some issues with some signs disappearing as the camera approached them. Bolton Park. Some cone placements have been updated and should make viewing the chicane turning point a bit easier. Phoenix, all track surface properties have been updated. Asphalt textures on the apron have been adjusted to better match where the seams are. For twin ring Motegi for Grand Prix in East, fix an issue where Barney was waving his flag through the wall. And finally, for Legacy Phoenix, for the Rallycross version, game time checkpoints have been updated to prevent course cutting. Alright, we did it. That was the update. Lots of stuff, some cool stuff, especially with the AI, being able to put AI in hosted. But yeah, we did it. If there's anything specific from this patch or anything at all specific in iRacing that you would like a closer look at, so like cars, tracks, whatever it is, let me know and I will get that done. Thanks for spending your time with me going over the new iRacing season patch notes. Enjoy the rest of your day and bye bye.